Hello everybody and welcome back to Certified Collectibles. This is another episode of First Appearance of the Week. This is Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025. We'll be giving you all the first appearance in your comic shops today. Now this week we got a super light week for you guys. Only 2 first appearances, 2 honorable mentions, so only 4 titles on to go through. Won't take us very long at all, but there's definitely some books in there to consider for your collection. So let's go ahead and get started for the first appearance of the week, ending July 25th, 2025. First up from Marvel Comics, Psylocke number 9. This features a possible first appearance of the Lady in White. Now, like we always remind you guys, anytime there's a possible first appearance, you definitely want to get confirmation that this is indeed the first full appearance before you pick this up. If the first appearance does not occur in this particular issue, this is one you could probably skip on. But if this issue does have the first full appearance of the Lady in White, this is one you may want to consider for your collection. You know, Psylocke, this title series, is a B-series for Marvel Comics, but it does have a fan base and collector base. People do love this character. So if they are bringing this new character, Lady in White, into this title series in this particular issue, this is one you may want to consider, but like I said, definitely get confirmation first. And like we always tell you guys, usually a good idea to pick up the first appearance of new characters in Marvel titles anyway. So like I said, if you guys do get confirmation that this here is the first full appearance, go ahead and grab this for your collection. And finally from Marvel Comics, Storm number 10. This features a possible first full appearance of Hadad, the first storm god. Now, like I just mentioned a moment ago, you do want to get confirmation that this here is indeed the first full appearance of this new character, Hadad, before you pick this up. If it's not, once again, one you could probably skip on. But if this is the first full appearance of this character, this is one you may want to pick up for your collection. You know, like I mentioned to you guys all the time, Marvel Disney have the cinematic rights to the X-Men again, so you could definitely expect them to start bringing a lot of these X-Men characters to the screen, whether small screen or big screen. And when they do start producing these projects, you really don't know where they're going to pull characters for the screen. If they grab some of these characters from the modern comics, these books are definitely going to skyrocket. Collectors are definitely going to try to race back to the comics to try to find the first appearance of these characters. So you do want to pick these up at the cover price. Like I said, get confirmation first that this here is indeed the first full appearance. If so, grab this here for your collection. And now for the honorable mentions. From IDW, Godzilla Kaisei Era number 1. Experimentations on the mysterious Kaisei energy awakens Godzilla and other kaiju while imbuing some humans with kaiju-like powers. This here is a reboot of the Godzilla IDW comic universe, and this here is the premiere issue of this title series. Now, there's been a huge resurgence in the Godzilla franchise lately. There's been a ton of merchandise coming out for Godzilla, whether it's comic books, action figures, statues, even card games. And I don't really know why there's been such a resurgence recently, but like I said, there is, and there's a huge fan base and huge collector base for Godzilla. So, you know, you definitely want to consider some of these comics when they come out. And this here is the reboot of the whole IDW Godzilla universe. So this one here may be worth considering for your collection. Like I said, this here is the premiere issue of this title series, and they're rebooting the whole universe. So this one here, if you are a fan of Godzilla and Godzilla comics and the Godzilla franchise, or if you just want to spec on this one, this is the one you do want to get. But understand this here is definitely going to be speculative, but like I said, maybe we're specking on. There's a huge fan base, huge collector base for Godzilla, and you don't really know which Godzilla comics coming out recently are going to be the big hits in the future. So like I said, definitely going to be speculative, but in my opinion, a great spec. Grab this here for a spec if you can. If you can't, put it in your B-list and take a look at it later on. And finally from Image Comics, The Voice Said Kill number 1. Fargo meets Deliverance in a sweaty swamp thriller about a deadly man high on mushrooms preparing for the human hunt. Now, we put this on the list because Image Comics has had a lot of their titles pick up an option for small screen and big screen projects in the past, and this story here sounds like easily translatable to the screen. Definitely sounds like a great candidate for a TV show, streaming series, or feature film. Now, this here will be speculative because you are speculating on this getting picked up an option, getting a lot more eyes on this title series, hitting the screen, get collectors raced back to the secondary market to find this premiere issue. But once again, this here sounds like a great spec. Like I said, easily translatable to the screen. Grab this here for a spec if you can. If you can't, put in your B-list, but definitely keep an eye on this one. So there you have it, 4 titles we have for you guys this week. Super light week, but definitely some books in there to consider for your collection. So please feel free to drop some comments in the comment section below. Thumbs up if you like this video. And as always, please remember to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you for joining us here at Certified Collectibles, and we'll see you again next time.